Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. I am coming on tonight to talk about another Olympian, Sydney Mclaughlin. So someone in my comments asked if I could talk about, her, and recently her posting a video of her just kind of being vulnerable and just speaking, I guess, to the world or whoever clicked to listen, speaking on just her plight in life and the negative energy that she's been receiving that I suppose many of us didn't know maybe she was receiving. So if you can, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to let some people get in before I go ahead and start sharing my screen. I want to share an article, and then I also want to share a video with her, the video where she's speaking out on how she's been treated. So, sis, at the time, at least that she did the video, she wasn't in a good mental space. Recently, she did get engaged. I didn't know she got engaged. I guess with everything going on with Sha'Carri Richardson, it's like, I talked about in my video, I posted last night, that's kind of have basically taken the light away from a lot of our athletes who are out there just doing a doggone thing and just winning. And Sydney's one of them. But if you haven't checked out that video, check it out. Just talked about our girl Sha'Carri and Allison Felix. So tonight we're going to put the focus on Olympian Sydney Mclaughlin. She had some things to say. And she did have the video as of earlier today when I was researching, when I decided to do this live for this topic, the video was still on her Instagram. So right before, coming on this live tonight, I went to her Instagram because I wanted to share the video, and I saw that it had been taken down. So she's removed the video. I don't know why. I did see some of the comments on the video on her Instagram earlier today, and all of the comments I was seeing were actually positive comments. So I'm not quite sure what would have made her take the video down, because I didn't go through all the comments, but the comments I did read, they were positive, favorable comments to her, people providing her words of encouragement, just positive comments. So, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I want to show you the article out there in regards to the situation with Sydney and her posting a video that she actually did the video prior to the Olympics. I think it was after she qualified, but she didn't post it then. So it seemed like she recently, like within the past few days, I think maybe 3 days ago, posted the video. She decided to post it because she said she felt like it was a message that was kind of bigger than her. And she just felt like, okay, I need to put this out there. So let me share my screen so you guys can see the article that I came across about our girl, Sydney Mclaughlin. So it reads, Olympian Sydney Mclaughlin shares tearful video, says critics reject the Jesus living in me. U.S. Olympic gold medalist Sydney Mclaughlin shared an emotional video this week that was taped following her success at the Olympic trials, opening up about what she calls a test of faith. Days after setting the world record time in the U.S. Olympic track and field 400-meter hurdle trials in Eugene, Oregon in June, the then 21-year-old filmed a video where she candidly shared how hurt she was by the feedback she received after fulfilling one of her lifelong dreams. According to the post, the video was filmed on June 30th. She quotes, "Even in success, there can be pain," she wrote in a caption of the video posted on Instagram. "I feel like this is such a test of faith because my whole life I've worked to get to where I am right now. Every young track athlete's dream is to be an Olympian, to break a world record, to be the best version of themselves they can be," Mclaughlin stated in the clip. So that's that. I want to share the clip. It's like 10 minutes, but I don't know how many of you seen it, but I want to share it because I just feel like, it's something that, it would be better if you kind of saw it yourself and we can kind of go through it from there so you can, form your own opinions about the matter. So let me go ahead and bring up the video that I have. Okay. So this is the video. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get into this video, kind of like, a react video. So let's go for it.
Man, never in my life did I think I'd be even making a video like this. I have no makeup on, so you can see all my scars, which is like, this is who I am. It's fine. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what's happening, and I really feel like this is just such a test of faith because my whole life and if I start crying, it's fine. My whole life, I've worked to get to where I am right now. Every young track athlete's dream is to be an Olympian, to break a world record, to be the best version of themselves that they can be. I couldn't understand 2 years ago why I wasn't there, why I was falling short, why things weren't going right. And I honestly think God just said it wasn't my time. He needed me to mature in my relationship with him and just who I am as a woman and figure that out before he could give me this heavy load to carry.
Okay, let me see. Something happened. Let me bring that video back up. It kicked me off. Hold on. Let me bring that video back up. Not sure what happened, but I want you guys to see this video. You can see what she had to say. Sydney Mclaughlin. Okay. Let me try to find that video again. Okay. Let me try to.
When you at Oregon.
Let me see. I'm not seeing that exact one that I came across. But let me see if I can. Dang it, where's that video? Okay. I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to find the one that I had because it was perfect. It's almost like in the midst of me watching it, it was pulled. Like I said, when I went to her Instagram, that video was gone. Yeah, that the video was gone. So it's like the one that I found, it's like it's almost like it got pulled. But I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen back with that website that had the written text then. Because that video that it seemed like it's almost like it got pulled, the video that I was watching. So I don't know if she's working on with trying to have it removed. I don't know, but let me make sure you can see my screen because I want to, get into some of the quotes, the things that she said pertaining to, how she's been treated. She says, not even 3 days ago, I literally achieved one of my life dreams of breaking the world record. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of people around me did not respond how I thought they would, she disclosed. Man, in a moment like that, where these are moments you remember for a lifetime, these are opportunities that you don't get every single day. I felt like the people I thought would be the most excited for me literally almost didn't even care. So that was a full statement. It's like, I just can't imagine, okay, the people that's been in her circle, then suddenly flipping the script. She kind of had me at that, when she said that. Another quote is, I'm just going to be real. It hurts. I'm still hurt to this point. Just not understanding when it's going to be enough for a lot of people, Mclaughlin explained. I've worked really hard and been very cautious of how I carry myself of the things that I post because I want to glorify God and want to be a good example to people. But our world only accepts ignorance. I find it really disrespectful that you can do everything right and it'll never be enough, she added. There's still always a problem with you. So this is where there was the Instagram post. But like I said, it doesn't go anywhere anymore. She removed it. Then it says, due to the popularity of the Olympics, athletes can be exposed to hateful comments online. And Mclaughlin is very outspoken about her Christian faith on social media. Nevertheless, Mclaughlin says she was even receiving disrespect from some teammates and family members. She quotes, people reject truth. I know they're not rejecting me. They're rejecting Jesus living in me. That's fine. But I'm just being honest. Like sometimes my flesh has a problem with that, she confessed. She also says, I'm so grateful that I have a relationship with God and the way that I do, because without it, I think I would honestly be going crazy right now, Mclaughlin testified. There's so many things I don't understand about the world, about our sport, about our culture. It makes no sense a lot of the time. She also says, I can never have a moment to just really just celebrate and just breathe. But I'm so grateful I don't have to live for that anymore, she told viewers, because if I did, my tank would be so empty. Mclaughlin says she is grateful for her new perspective of knowing that none of this matters. She says, humans, we were not made to carry so much weight, Mclaughlin maintained. We were not made to carry so much attention on us. We were not made to be famous. That was never what God intended for us, ever. The only person who is strong enough to carry that is Jesus. She says, I'm grateful for the platform. I'm grateful to be able to reach people, but I don't want it, she revealed. I don't want fame. I don't want any of that. It's toxic. It's genuinely genuinely physically makes me sick. I don't want the fame. I would just like a little bit of respect. She also says, we don't have to be best friends. You may not even agree with my message, but in the sport at the age of 21, to be a two-time Olympian and a world record holder, I would just like a little bit of respect, just a little bit. You guys can have all the other stuff she shared in the video, which was recorded before she broke her own record in the 400-meter hurdle Olympic final in Tokyo and took home her first gold medal. McLaughlin finished at 51.46 seconds. She adds, it blows my mind. People who have been my teammates, who have watched me die every day at practice, believe I'm standing here today because I have followers, because I am light skinned, she said in tears. I can't control what color my skin is. I can't control who presses the follow button, but I can control what I do on the track. And that's the thing that doesn't get the respect, and it blows my mind. McLaughlin ended the video by saying, there's so much good in the world, but there's so much sickness. She says, I'm praying for healing. I really hope that people can see that they don't have to live in this world of just hate, she stressed. There's such a better way. That was a lot. Yes. I really urge you guys to definitely go out and try to find that video. I may try to attempt to find it again. Like I said, it looks like where I seen it out on YouTube, it's like it got pulled like right in the moment while I was showing it. This is a live I'm doing, and stuff happens. So let me check these chat. Kereen. Hi, Kereen. Welcome. And in other great news, she just got engaged. So happy for her. Yes, it is a time to celebrate. Yes, that's wonderful. Kereen says Jamaican won again, 1, 2, 3 at Diamond League in Switzerland, with Mommy Rocket running her best at 10.60. Wow, that's an awesome number. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Baylor Con Latinas. What does this have to do with reverse colorism? So, in regards to reverse colorism, normally when we hear about colorism, it's talked about when in more of the perspective of like a darker brown skinned person talking about just feeling like she's kind of discriminated, she or he being discriminated against their color because they're darker complected. And I hear that happens, you know, in across different cultural groups where you'll have different shades of skin complexions, like even in the like I've heard, you know, people talk about even like in Puerto Rico, you see colorism being a thing. In Brazil, like anywhere where you're going to have people of color, people with melanin, the darker shade people, where we mostly hear it talks of, okay, their plight in being left out. So the reverse colorism comes in to where we have a light-skinned person who's saying, hey, I'm being mistreated. I'm being perhaps discriminated because I'm light-skinned, because I look a certain way. So that's where the reverse comes in there at. And more often than not, that's not what we talk about when we talk about colorism. We don't really talk about it from that angle of, okay, the light-skinned person and how they're treated because of them being light-skinned. It's almost like, you know, when we go through life, it's like, it's just looked at as though, oh, light skin, you know, what they say, white is right. You know, the lighter you are, the closer to white you look, the more privilege you'll have. So things are all good in your corner. You don't understand the struggle that we over here, someone who's darker complected, endure. So Sydney is an example of one of many people, you know, that I've heard speak on it, who say, well, just because I'm light, it don't mean that I don't get mistreated at times. So that's where that reverse colorism conversation comes in. But I'm early on in this live, so I really hadn't gotten that far into it. Baylor Con Latinas, I was just kind of speaking on exactly what she said. And then the next layer, I wanted to get into just that. And I wanted to just talk about, is that a thing? Is reverse colorism a thing? Have we seen people who are of the quote unquote more favorable color or have the more favorable hair texture? Have we seen them be treated kind of in an unfavorable way by those who don't look like them? For example, have we seen other women who are fair skinned or who have a looser texture hair treated a different way than the darker complexion girls because she looks different? Because like I said, we there's regular conversations and a lot of people, content creators, who talk about it from the standpoint of the darker complexion person kind of getting the short end of the stick, not getting the most favorable treatment or attention. Let's just talk about like with our music videos. More often than not, in our music videos, for people of color, in particular Black people or Black men, the love interest is a lot of times a more fair-skinned person, usually someone who's racially ambiguous, or if she is like, Black, she's very fair complected. That's a real thing. Even right now, right now, it's a big conversation piece that I'm seeing on social media pertaining to the singer Normani and her not being invited to the MTV, award show this year to perform. Whereas we have, what's her name? Chloe Bailey. I believe that's her name. Chloe Bailey. She got invited. So the conversation piece has been, from what I've seen in my research, is, okay, well, I feel like Chloe got invited because she's fair skinned. She looks different than Normani. And I've been hearing for years, for the last at least going on 2 years, as far as Normani's career, definitely strong within the last year, Normani's career not being where it probably could because of her skin tone. Now, whether that is the case or not, I don't know, because she's not really an artist that I particularly follow, but I do see she has a lot of followers. And when I do hear people comment on her, and they speak on her success or lack thereof, her skin complexion becomes like a very popular speaking point. Like that, people compare her to like, other artists who are like more lighter complexion, who get more exposure. Like, for example, I'm using Chloe Bailey as an example. So do I personally feel that Chloe Bailey got invited to perform for the MTV Awards because of her color over Normani? Personally, I don't feel like that's why Chloe Bailey got invited. I feel like Chloe Bailey just got invited because right now she's a hot new solo artist. She's been on the scene for a minute, but as far as for the solo piece, that's kind of fairly new for her. So this would be like her first time performing there as a solo artist. Whereas from what I've come to learn, Normani performed there in like 2019. So she has graced the stage of, for the MTV Awards. So it's not like she hasn't been there before. So I think it just could even be just both of the young ladies' music being very similar, and MTV saying, hey, we don't really want to have both of them there. So let's just pick one, and we're just going to go with Chloe Bailey this time. But I really don't think it's really that much deeper than that. But I'm hearing also people throwing in a layer of, well, we think, I think Beyonce called MTV and was like, yo, put Chloe Bailey on the roster, because Chloe Bailey is on the label. She's underneath Beyonce. Her and, her sister, they're underneath Beyonce. So Beyonce's Beyonce. So I'm pretty sure, that did help that Chloe's underneath Beyonce. But I feel like if Normani had been underneath Beyonce, Normani would have easily, graced the stage. She's, Beyonce has pull, but I don't think that we're technically dealing with a colorism issue when it comes to that. But I just want to talk about it because it's just so many layers when it comes to this whole colorism thing. And are we sensitive to those who are deemed as being the more favorable person out there, like a Sydney Mclaughlin? So let's talk about it. You know, Sydney's 21. I'm gonna share her Instagram page, and I started looking at her, and also just started looking at the other young ladies who attended the Olympics, like a thing Mo, what's the Muhammad young lady, Delilah Muhammad, Allison Felix. So I started to kind of research each of them to try to just bump them together to see if there's a visible difference between just from a public persona, like the difference in treatment. And the main thing that I just noticed just on the surface, Sydney's 21. Sydney already has, I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see you know what I'm looking at, but sis already has 1 million at 21. She already has 1 million Instagram followers. She got 1 million. So she got 1 million. She clearly is getting like endorsements. She don't have a whole lot of pictures on here that I came to see, but she's winning. She's winning. So how many followers she had prior to her breaking the record just within the last year, just from this summer, I don't know because I didn't follow her. But we see right now, sis is at 1 million followers. So let's just look at someone else's page. Let me see, because I just wanted you guys to just see, I want to do just a comparison for you guys to see. Let's go to Allison Felix page. Allison has 1.1 million. Allison has been around since, Allison is 35 years old. She's retired now. She's at 1.1 million followers. Remember, Sydney's 21 and already has 1 million followers. So the way we can put this in perspective, think about how long it took for Allison to get to this 1.1 million followers in comparison to Sydney. So let's look at Allison's page. Allison is a fair-skinned Black woman. Allison isn't a racially ambiguous Black woman. Sydney is, from my understanding, I believe Sydney is biracial. So there's layers to even, or levels, should I say, to even the whole light skin thing. Light skin and being Black, and then light skin and being racially ambiguous, or being mixed race, having loose textured hair. More often than not, if we do see that athlete, that musician, that rapper who is with someone who is fair skinned, she's racially ambiguous. She has loose textured hair. You're looking, wondering what could she be mixed with, because she's not looking like Allison Felix, you know? So, you know, it's more to it than just being light skinned. So I asked, do we still have the same sensitivity to someone like Sydney when she cries and say, hey, people are downplaying my accomplishments because of my followers or what I look like? Okay. So I also got to thinking about, just, for example, when I talked about a few minutes ago, Normani, and people thinking that her career isn't where it should be because of her skin complexion. The one thing that I can say that I do notice when it comes to the darker complexion person, in particular females, let's just talk about women. I notice that when it's them, like, you don't really hear them come out on a platform and say, I feel like I'm being held back because of my complexion. You more so hear their fans speak on it. Think about it, you guys. Like, Have we ever heard like Serena talk about being treated a certain way because of her skin complexion? Normani, have we heard her talk about being treated a certain way because of her skin complexion? Kelly Rowland. But how often do we hear other people have dialogues about it? So I say that to say with Sydney speaking about it on her own. It's not even people. It wasn't even like, it didn't become a thing because people were speaking on it for her. Sis spoke on it herself. So to me, it goes to, it gives the vibe of, okay, light skin, not being used to being in that seat of being treated a certain way. Whereas the darker complexion, like we're so used to it, and I categorize myself closer to more, I'm brown skin, so I'm kind of in the middle, but I'm definitely not light skin. So I feel like for the darker complexion woman, it's almost like, you get so used to things to where you don't talk about it. You just be like, listen, it is what it is, and you keep it moving, and other people will talk about it for you. But when it hits the light-skinned person, it's like, wait a minute, I'm not used to this. What's going on here? Why am I getting mistreated? Like have any of you guys ever picked up that vibe from anyone, who's been the light on that fair skin spectrum, and they're like, okay, wow, I'm getting mistreated because I'm fair skin. It's like, it becomes a talking piece because it's like, it's almost like an anomaly. Like you don't hear it spoken on from that angle very much. So let me get in to read some more of these comments. Kereen, she is right. I was outraged by that. She was getting the coverage. She is the prodigy, the one that broke the world record and won the gold, right? My kiddo too. Hello. I believe it happens on all levels. Yeah, it does. Kereen, age is a maybe. She is 22 and Normani is 27. Well, that's a thing. Kereen says Sydney is a prodigy, though she won a gold in 2016 and has been doing the thing for years. Okay. David Anthony says, late to the video, but Sydney's story really captured my attention. So many layers in comments, such as criticism from teammates and issue of colorism. What got me is when she talked about the people in her own circle coming at her. Like, I'm confused on that. As far as how do you suddenly just have people in your circle in your camp just flip? Like that's the part I'm still kind of stuck on, because it's one thing if you got those people who don't know you. You're always going, have those people that don't know you that's out there. Everybody got an opinion, but a lot of times, we take it with a grain of salt. If it's somebody you don't know from a can of paint, somebody on the internet. But when it's from your own people, and it seemed like that's the part that really hit her. It's like, okay, these people that are supposed to love and support me, be there for me, they're the ones who are giving me this negative energy. And the way I feel like these people already felt this way. It just came out at that time for whatever reason that made them just bring it out. But my thing is, you're not going to overnight just want to just shade somebody like that. That means you already had a certain feeling in your heart. And soon as she achieved something, you just found an opportunity to just speak negatively on the young lady. That's how I look at it, because where is this energy coming from all of a sudden? I don't think it's really all of a sudden. It's been in them. It just came to the surface. It came to the light. You know how they go. People will hold things in for however long. And then soon as something happened, what they've been feeling, they just start popping off. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? So, that's that on that. My kiddo, Lolo Jones spoke about it. Lolo Jones got a lot of, I remember when she went to Olympics, she got a lot of attention, and people felt like, the focus was on her, also because of how she looked. Kereen, also, she's a devout Christian, and people don't like that as well. They want her to be Tatiana and very reserved and demure. I agree, because even in her, in her video, or when I was reading, the article at the beginning of this live, she talked about as though like the foolishness gets all of the attention, which, that is what we see. I just did a video yesterday, entertaining Sha'Carri Richardson and, the foolery. And it's just unfortunate that that's the culture, that, the negativity more often than not can outshine the positivity within our community, our cultural group. And I think, this is an example of that, to where you see somebody who's doing what she's supposed to do, walk in a straight line, but though she get criticism for it, almost like, okay, well, yeah, she thinks she better than somebody. Like, how many of us have been in a situation like that, where somebody just want to judge you because you moving differently than the person next to you? My kiddo too. I think all of the media was on Sha'Carri instead of the actual winners. Of course. Another thing, do you guys even sometimes feel like, because I heard someone doing, earlier when I was researching this, I heard someone say that they felt like people had been going hard, let's just say, back using Normani as an example, because she's kind of in the media right now with trying to get MTV to, invite her to perform. But this person was like, they felt like people tend to go hard for people who they identify with. For example, Normani being a darker complected woman. So it's almost like people who are darker complected can be considered as the underdog. So because of that, people want to just go hard and support them, because they feel like because they don't have the favorable look, then they want to just show that extra support, put that extra oomph in the things that they have to say about the person. So would you guys say that maybe what's going on with Sha'Carri is that because Sha'Carri isn't the quote unquote, the light skinned girl, the girl with the silky hair, the Christian girl, because Sha'Carri looks a lot like the young girls that we see in our Black communities, do you think that maybe a lot of people are talking about her, or even in support of her, or in her corner, because they identify with her? They feel like she's somebody that they can connect with more. Because I got to thinking about that when this content creator talked about feeling like, okay, people was, she felt like people was going hard for Normani just because they related to her, just based off of from a looks perspective, not necessarily because Normani is just killing it with just her talents. So I thought that was like an interesting point. So I just kind of got to thinking about it, because even when we think about just this light skin, dark skin in the industry, who are our more popular artists? Are they light skin, or are they dark skin? So we have Beyonce, Nicki Minaj. I see here people place her more on the fair skin spectrum. We'll discuss Cardi B. She's not a Black woman, but people often insert her into the Black culture. She definitely uses the N-word whenever she can. So the lighter complexion people that I see in the industry, to me, it's like they're the more popular ones. But I wouldn't say that they necessarily equate to having the most talent. What do you think? Do you think that just these light-skinned people that I named off are just killing it? Or is it they have the look? They have more of that, the lighter complexion is considered the more versatile, the more crossover, the look that, the non-Black people can kind of become comfortable with looking at. So, it's just a lot to it. Lolo Jones. So Kereen says Lolo Jones wasn't a Sydney Mclaughlin who deserved the accolade. She has delivered the gold and world record. She cemented her legacy to Olympics golds at 21. What about a thing? Let's see, a thing Mo. Let me share her Instagram because I was looking at her too and comparing what her following looked like because she been out there doing the doggone thing too. So let me see. Here's hers. I got so many screens up. I'll be looking at all kinds of stuff to be preparing for these lives. She's at 132,000 followers. How long y'all think it's going to take for her to hit 1 million? Let's talk about that. So we're going to scroll through her pictures. Remember, we seen what Sydney pictures look like. So let's go ahead and scroll through a thing Mo's pictures. So who do you think at the end of the day going to be getting more endorsement offers? We watched her perform at the Olympics too. Remember, it took Allison just at 1.1 million. She 35 and retiring. Sydney is at 1 million already at 21. Let's talk about it. A thing Mo, she's 18. She's 18. We seen she has 132,000 followers. So do you guys think that a thing is having conversations with people about how she looks and opportunities that are or are not being extended to her, even though she's an athlete that goes above and beyond? Do you guys foresee a thing ever publicly coming out and speaking on colorism or feeling as though, we don't know how she feels, but do you foresee her ever coming out and speaking on if she did feel a certain way about, her physical appearance and opportunities? Because like I said, I don't really too often see the darker complexion woman speaking on it. I more so hear other people recognizing. But with the fair-skinned woman, like Sydney, she was speaking on it herself. It's not often that, we're seeing people collectively come into the defense of the fair-skinned woman. So the question is, are people as sensitive when it comes to the reverse colorism for the fair-skinned woman like Sydney? Do people care? Do people look at it like, yo, okay, we hear your cries, but since my black behind been getting left behind since slavery, so I'm sorry you feel the way you feel, but you still sitting at 1 million followers, you still got endorsements, and I'm still over here trying to convince the powers that be that I'm talented or I'm beautiful too. Like, when you put them up together, you guys, do you put more weight on one versus the other? Like, who has the stronger argument? So the question is, are we here for Sydney's tears? Let me read these comments and see. Kereen says, in track and field, winning is great, but winning with the world record is dominating performance. My kiddo too. I think because Sha'Carri is so outspoken, and you are right, a lot of young girls identify with her, unfortunately. Listen, a lot of them do. And I think that's too, like, it's like when I see Sha'Carri, I see like a black girl that I see every day. So it's almost like as though people, even if they don't see themselves in Sha'Carri, they see a Sha'Carri within their family, within their neighborhood, just when they're out and about. So that makes people, I just feel like it just does something, just probably it's just in a subconscious way where you automatically going to gravitate to her, because it's almost like she's just the girl next door per se. So people are just going to be talking about her, rooting for her, almost still as though she's in that underdog category. Whereas Sydney can be doing the doggone things, but it's almost like people may look at Sydney almost like white person privilege. Like, how often, we over here losing sleep collectively about a white person and them losing millions of dollars in the stock market. Like, what? Like, we worried about trying to keep the lights on. Like, we not worried about, okay, Bezos and his wife taking half. Like, it's different types of struggles. So because if that's not a struggle that we have, because we don't have access to that type of money, it's like we're not sensitive to it. So I'm wondering if when it comes to Sydney, if people maybe aren't really sensitive to what she's saying, because it's just like, sis, I can't relate, because my black behind over here, I'm struggling just to try to get through the door, because I got natural hair, I got kinky hair, I got a wide nose, and I'm just trying to get somebody to give me a chance and acknowledge what's on this resume that's before them. So I can't relate to you over here saying, okay, people hating on you because you quote unquote winning, and they not recognizing your hard work. You guys, do you see what I'm saying? It hits different, it's different. My kiddo too says the media likes the European look. Right. I mean, whether we like it or not, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Like, the media shows what their preference is. Kereen says, I'm dark skinned, but I advocate for Sydney for her accomplishment. She is more talented than Sha'Carri and has been performing at elite level at freaking 16. I'm with you. I get it. But collectively, Kereen, I just don't think that people are as sensitive about that just because they can't relate. And a lot of times, unfortunately, people find it, because I feel like just because you can't relate to somebody's plight, it doesn't mean that you can't sympathize with them, show empathy. But you have some people who, just because they can't relate to you, they can't even feel anything for what you got to say. And I think that's what's going on with Sydney, is that collectively, the Black culture, and particularly women, they're like, okay, next. Like, I feel like that's the energy that they're giving her, and it breaks her heart, because I do pick up that she's a beautiful person inside and out, and that because of what she looks like, she's being judged, and it's not her fault. But the reality of it is that we live in a society, in a world, let's just say the world, because you see this take place in different countries, where what you look like can make a difference on the quality of your life, period. It can make a difference on the opportunities that are extended to you, period, regardless of what's on your resume. It is what it is. Like, you guys think back when Alicia Keys came out and NDRE came out. They came out like around the same time. Who was pushed to our faces more? Alicia Keys was. It doesn't mean that she was more talented, but I strongly feel that because she had that European look, she had the fair skin, she was deemed as someone that was considered to be more marketable. Listen, I'm just here to just report the news. David True. Let me see. I'm trying to get through these comments. Let me see. I want to get to you guys' comments, because we got to have this conversation. It is what it is. It may hurt, but listen, it got to be talked about. Kiddo 2 said, I put more weight on the talent, and Sydney definitely has it. She does. Exactly. The girl down the street. Yeah. If Sydney never delivered, I would roll my eyes, but she is doing it like Micheal Jordan level performance. Yeah, she is. She is. But unfortunately, because she looks the way she looks, people gonna come up with other reasons as to how she got to where she got. Now, granted, them numbers that she putting up as far as breaking records, that don't have anything to do with what she looks like. That's like, the numbers don't lie. The numbers do not lie. But because she doesn't look like that average girl within the Black community, you know, it's just like people side eye. It's almost like, well, you're not one of us. Like, I mean, I hear about, you know, mixed kids, you know, people talk about, you know, the struggle as far as with the whole fitting in. You know, the Black side, like, you ain't Black enough. The white side say you ain't white enough. I've never seen Sydney's mom. I've seen her father. He's a Black man, but I've never seen her mom. I've seen her brother, and looking at her, she looks biracial. So you guys can correct me if she's not, but she looks it. And like I said, I hadn't come across any photos of her mom, just her father. And her father was a whole Black man, brown skin. So my kiddo says, and also Sydney is very demure and professional. Yes. Now, how many young girls right now relating to that? You know, these chicks, they just ratchet. These girls, they run around acting like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. Listen, they ain't running around acting like Sydney Mclaughlin. Let me just say that. Collectively, they're not. At least that's not what I'm seeing. Not all of our Black girls act like that, but the ones that get the attention, unfortunately, do. So, you know, the ones that we seeing popping their behinds in a music video, like, it's not the same energy that Sydney gives. So it's almost like she's, you know, a rare breed. So people like, you know, next. David Anthony said, it's sad to see a winner not getting as much respect like a thing because of traditional colorism. Sydney is a beautiful, strong Black woman, but it's delusional to believe dark skin has it easier. Right. Like, do y'all think a thing is somewhere sympathizing for Sydney right now? I mean, I just want to ask. I don't know. What y'all think? Like, think about it. Do y'all think that she's like thinking like, wow, that's just sad? Or is she thinking about what she's going through just based off of what her appearance is? Like, again, will we ever even hear a thing speak on it? That part. Will she ever speak on it? Kereen says, in sports, we, for the most part, give accolades to the winners, i.e. Jordan, LeBron, Serena's. That's the level of performance in the sport. Yes, that's the way it should be, but I don't feel like that's the way it always is, especially not when it comes to the black woman. I feel like when it comes to sports, Kereen, with men, I don't feel like we see colorism play out in the way in which we do with women. Because think about all the like popular artists and things. Like, we have Drake, he's light skinned, but we have Kanye, who's on the opposite spectrum. So it seems like, to me, with men, we don't really have conversations of somebody being successful because of what they look like. It seems like we look more at just what they're doing versus like what they are looking like as far as the skin tone. But when it comes to the women, it's not like that, you know, because I think if it wasn't a thing, we wouldn't hear so much talks of people bleaching. Think about the celebrities we've seen over the years whose skin has gotten lighter. Whether or not they bleach or not, I don't know, but I've seen images of Beyonce's skin being lighter, and it's been up for question if she's lightening. I remember Megan Good a couple of years ago when her skin suddenly kind of looked lighter. Remember, the world lost their mind when Serena had took them pictures and her skin looked lighter. Kelly Rowland has even dealt with where she took some pictures and her skin looked lighter. Like, it seems like we only have conversations when it comes to, okay, somebody lightening. When it comes to the women, like, it's just very like rare that we're talking about that with the men. it's like, it's not much of a thing. You know, you might have some that do it, but like here in the US, that's not really a thing that we really talk about. It's typically just the woman and what she's doing and why she looking lighter. Like, it's always a conversation piece. If we see somebody who's normally dark skinned just look just a shade lighter, it's like, oh, she bleaching. And y'all know sometimes it can be the lighting, you know, even as with us who are brown skinned, we know sometimes the lighting can change how we look, or even the times of the year. Like, for example, I get lighter. Like, I have 3 children, so I have children of the different shades, one that's around my color, one that's lighter than him, you know, 2 light-skinned kids, a brown skin. Listen, I cover all of their shades in 1 year because my skin, it changes. So in the wintertime, I start looking more like a lighter complexion person. Like, it's just my skin. So that is a thing where you can look lighter, and it's just, you just look lighter for whatever reason. It's not that you did anything. So, but though it becomes a conversation piece when your look does start to change. I'm not in the limelight. I'm not a celebrity, so it doesn't become a big thing in my world, but I do see it become a big thing with those who are, you know, in the limelight. Like, we look in your people looking like, wow, they are looking lighter. And, you know, it's just this big whole thing. Then they got to come out and justify, oh, it's just the makeup. And I mean, it's just crazy, but you know, it is what it is. My kiddo said a thing stated she is on vacation chilling. I hear that. She deserves it. Kereen said, yes, I see her. I'm a big fan of her. Lovely young lady. Yeah. My kiddo said a thing is the ish. It is like she is not running. Very graceful. Yes. But, you know, unfortunately, we're not hearing, you know, it's not a lot being said about her. But I want to, you know, acknowledge her in this video, you know, because she is doing great things, and I want to see her grow, and I want to see her following, you know, go up in her opportunities for endorsements and all of that. I want all that she's deserving of. I want her to have those things, just as Sydney does. It's just that Sydney is getting those things, but she's also getting that work from people too. And listen, it's a doggy dog world out there. And as they say, you know, as I've asked the question, is it possible to have it all? And I think Sydney is showing that, okay, yeah, it's arguably probably not possible to have it all, because here it is. Somebody will look at her as somebody, okay, well, she got the talent and she got the looks, but those sis talking about people just straight up hating on her. So I definitely wouldn't put her in the category as having it all. Kereen said, yep, colorism is definitely an issue. I see your points. I hope you understand mine. I like to bring facts into these conversations. I see it, and your facts, they're there, they're spot on, but unfortunately, facts don't always line up with perception. Like, those are 2 different things. And Sydney is just perceived to have this life or to receive these opportunities just because of what she looks like. So people just form opinions, assumptions, and all of that when it's based on nothing other than her skin complexion or say her hair texture. Like, that's a thing. It's the reality that we live in. Will that ever go away? I doubt it. I don't see it going away. You know, it's been around ever since, you know, slavery, with light skin been in the house and the darker complexion been in the field, or the lighter complexion people value, you know, with slaves, or the lighter complexion slaves had a higher value than the darker complexion slaves. So that's been a thing that goes way far back than any of us, you know, would ever know. But I don't see it going anywhere. It's just something that I don't feel like it does us any good to dismiss or act like it's not a thing. That's why I'm speaking on this, because yes, it's sad. Sydney was crying and all of that. And I hope, you know, that she's in better spirits now. She removed the video. She's engaged. She's engaged to a Black man. He's a brown skinned Black man. But I want to talk about it from the angle of, okay, does it hit the same when you have, let's just say, someone like Normani or a thing, and them experiencing not receiving certain opportunities because of what they look like? So do you guys put the weight of them the same? Like, do you judge, okay, what Sydney's going through as the same as what, like, say, a thing or Normani may be going through? Like, would y'all put them on the same level? Sydney has a New Balance endorsement. Yeah. Do we know about a thing having any endorsements? Or what's the other Delilah Muhammad having any endorsements? Do anybody know if they got anything popping right now? Because Sydney winning. So when we talk about was she winning, again, it goes back to, are we going to spend a lot of time really focusing on her crying because people hating on how she looks? Like, Kereen says, funny, Sha'Carri has Nike, who hasn't won a major international race. Right. Nike is hanging on, but Nike is a big brand. They know that Sha'Carri is somebody that the Black culture collectively identifies with. So they know that, the ratchetness, the colorful hair, the long nails, they know that's in our Black culture. That's what was pushed to the forth. That's what's elevated within our culture. And they see, like, okay, yeah, they can push her harder than pushing Sydney. The average Black girl is not relating to Sydney. Sydney, went to private school? Y'all think Sha'Carri went to private school? I know Sydney went to a Christian school. I ain't heard about Sha'Carri going to nobody private school or Christian school. Micheal said, exactly. Nike is pushing out those commercials with Sha'Carri. Yes, Nike. Listen, Nike know that Sha'Carri comes with money. They know that people support ratchetness. Look at our music, our artists. The ratchet music, the conscious music, whatever happened to that, they ain't really like. Remember back in the day we had Music Soul Child, like all of those conscious people. They don't sell music like that because people gravitate to the mess. It is what it is. A thing has Nike. Okay, that's awesome that she has Nike, and I hope that she continues to get more endorsements. Yes, Sha'Carri is a brand. Yes, this is a whole brand. Nike ain't going. They said even after that law, Nike like, listen, we are still with you, sis. We are. We finna get this check. We still with you. We still with you. Look, they riding, but those brands, they do that with our people in our culture. We don't, Black people collect, like, we don't own anything. So anytime, the machine is always going to be somebody that don't look like us. So they're all about making money. They don't care about the image that that our people is putting out there as far as whether or not it's negative or positive. Oh, they don't care about anything like that. They care about that bottom line. And they see that Sha'Carri gonna come through. People, them young girls with the hair that look like her and the nails and the long eyelashes that look like wings, they are going to see her and be like, yes, girl, yeah, I want what Sha'Carri got. I want them shoes. I want that. They know that. Nike, no, that Nike ain't going nowhere. Kereen says, so all her good looks right ain't winning her the big Nike endorsement. Listen, that part. I mean, looks got her 1 million followers. she got that. If Sha'Carri even attended school, just joking. We gonna stop. She went to LSU. Yeah, I know she had went to LSU. I didn't know, like, I think she went to high school in Texas, Houston. David Empty said, I know though may sound insensitive, but I can't be as empathetic to Sydney as I want to, since traditionally dark-skinned Black people statistically has it harder on many social issues every day in everyday life. Like, I agree. I wonder if her spiel would, even her crying, do you guys think it would have even made a difference if while she was speaking, she acknowledged that I'm going through what I'm going through. People are judging me because of what I look like. But I'm also sympathetic for people who maybe do have a different skin complexion than me. I'm also sensitive or acknowledge that they're often treated differently too. Like, I'm just wondering if they would have hit differently if she would have acknowledged that, okay, yes, I'm going through this, but I'm not insensitive about those who don't look like me and what they going through, which is, for the most part, we're not going to argue, far worse than what she going through. I thought about that as I listened to her, because to me, the video, it just made me, I almost like felt like it's like, okay, I want it all. I want you, I got this, I got that, I want you guys to love me. And because you guys don't love me, then kind of like Lizzo, when Lizzo was on there crying because everybody not going to like you, sis. And I just wonder if it's a thing with Sydney, is that she just wants to be liked by everybody. And it's just like, okay, I got the accolades. I got the look. Why can't you, based off of textbook, I got the whole package. Why aren't you guys treating me like I do? Like, that was the vibes that I was getting. Like, what's going on, y'all? Do y'all realize who I am, what I look like? Why are y'all hating on me? I'm supposed to be the one that's supposed to get picked. I'm the one that they choose. So why are y'all coming at me so hard? And I just feel like, had she, while she spoke, acknowledged, okay, I do recognize that people who don't look like me do not always get certain opportunities, and I'm not insensitive to that. So I'm just here to say, listen, I'm feeling the heat of what it feels like on the opposite side for the discrimination or to be the mistreatment. So I'm feeling the pain. I know some of the pain you got. Like, I'm just saying, sometimes I feel like it can make a difference when you recognize somebody else's plight or struggle. So therefore, it won't make it all just about you and you looking like you're kind of like selfish in that moment or insensitive to those who have it far worse than you do. I know I'm joking. Let me see. Her attitude sucks, Shakira. Yeah, I ain't gonna argue that. Sydney has endorsements with New Balance. She does. David Anthony says Nike doesn't promote athletes all the same, though. They would promote Shakira more than a thing, which is sad because morally a thing is better role model at this point for Black community. Right. And Nike don't care about no role models. They do not care about that. They know that your typical, like, your Black girl in the community, in the culture, is moving more like Shakira than a thing. Unfortunately, that is the case. They ain't moving like a thing in droves. They're more so moving like Shakira. My kiddo says, right, a skinny Lizzo. Sydney wants to please the world, wants to please the world. I hope as she matures, she will get tough skin. Right. Like, you can't please everybody. Everybody's not going to like you. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And Sydney's young, and hopefully in time, she'll come to realize or see that. But right now, it's just an insecurity that she has. Listen, everybody's not going to like you. Regardless of, even if you were, Sydney, Sydney was a darker complexion girl, everybody don't like Shakira. People in my comments was mad that I was even giving her the energy yesterday with talking about her. Like, everybody don't like her. everybody don't like Sha'Carri, everybody don't like Lizzo, everybody don't like Sydney, everybody don't like me. Like that, it's just life. And right now, that's just, a hard lesson that Sydney's going to have to learn. It's like she shouldn't try to be moving through this life with trying to please everybody, because she going to go crazy. She going to stay talking to God and crying if she think that's going to be the thing to do. So she need to realize that quick, fast, in a hurry, because it's going to save her a lot of heartache, tears, loneliness, lonely feel, like all of that. She needs to come to realize that you can't be concerned with, she says she get anxiety when she go on social media, when she looks at following count. So my thing is, okay, are you getting now? Listen, when she said that, at that time, I didn't even know how many followers she had. So when she said she get anxiety, my thoughts thinking like, okay, maybe her follower, is it lower and she comparing her numbers to somebody higher? But when I went and seen sis had 1 million followers on Instagram, who's giving you anxiety? Whose numbers are you looking at that's bigger than yours? Are you getting anxiety because of the people whose numbers are lower than yours? Because sis, all these people I just showed y'all, their numbers are lower than yours, except for our girl Allison Felix. So where is this anxiety coming from when you look at followers? Like, speak on it, because I'm confused. Like she listen, everybody can't handle social media. And to me, Sydney is definitely that chick that cannot handle it. And that's okay. But she need to recognize that and get off of it. She need to do that. She need to recognize that and get off of it. Because she said she went like some weeks without being on there. I think maybe like 3 weeks or something leading up to, I guess, her trials or whatever. And then for whatever reason, she got back on there and she said she got anxiety. Okay, why are you getting on there if it's giving you anxiety and having you feel like you don't have to go on there? You know that, right? Like, you can do what I call it, like a pop-up. Like, I literally jump on social media, do my post, jump off. It's like double dutch. I don't be on there just moving around, because you can easily get caught up in comparing your page to somebody else's, your following to somebody. Like, that is a whole thing. You can get caught up in that. And I realized that maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. So I took a step back. So I don't be on social media like that, just lurking, looking, seeing who got their page popping, I don't do that. Like, I tell anybody, if you're looking for me and you are in trouble, please do not send me a message on social media, because sis, I promise you, you are going to be SOL, because I am not going to get that message, because I don't be out there like that to see communications like that. Like, that's not where I be. I don't live on social media. And Sydney has to recognize that about herself, that maybe social media it don't make me feel the best. So maybe I need to stay away from that. Let me do something else. Maybe let me have somebody else manage my social media. Let me stay out of the comments. That's the whole thing. Let me stay out of the comments. Like, you got to recognize that, or else you're going to self-destruct, sis. You're going to self-destruct, and you too young. You're only 21 years old and you already getting anxiety behind social media, girl. My kiddo too says the thing is definitely a better role model, very talented and articulate. I would agree. David Anthony says, hi, but we know Sha'Carri brought the hate on herself. Hi, so that's understandable. But I agree, Sydney is but needs to be developed a tougher skin. She does not have to please everyone. She don't. And, she just got engaged. Hopefully, she can focus on that. She can find peace just, within her relationship. She seems to, really love her man. She feels like, he's God sent, like all of that. And hopefully that will help her. But one thing I do know is that what's going on with her is nothing that her fiance, can technically do to kind of fix that. It's going to start within. She has to make some adjustments within her life. Like, these are things she has to do the work. No one can't do it for her. And I just hope that she does do the work, because, you know, the internet ain't no joke. What they say, that Black Twitter be on you. Like, she got to do the work, just like Lizzo got to do the work. We all got to do the work. Like, nobody's exempt from it, regardless of what your social economic status is, what your popularity is. Like, no one can do the work for us. We have to do the work for ourselves. My kiddo says, take a break from social media, sis. Right. She did for what, like 3 weeks, and jumped back on it and gave her anxiety. And I mean, clearly she's still been back on there, because she posted the video of her crying. And then she did it for 3 weeks, but we need to probably do longer than 3 weeks. We need to do probably like a whole 6 months. My kiddo too says, Sydney is looking for validation from the media. Not a good look. No, it's not. You know, to me, you know, it's clearly deeper than the surface. Like, Sydney, this is some deep rooted acceptance type stuff that I'm getting from Sydney. Like, beyond, oh, I won these awards and people not praising me. Like, to me, I would bet this goes back to childhood. And again, I've heard mixed race people talk about the struggle of like feeling accepted, kind of like feeling like they're stuck in the middle, not feeling like they belong either way. And I think that's what we're seeing play out with her, is that she's still trying to find her place. And it's just like, okay, because remember, she talked about family members even having something to say. So what family members do y'all think is from the Black side, or do you think it's from the white side? Who do you think have something to say? How often do we see white people talking about colorism and getting special treatment? Do we more so hear about that in our community? So I would say it's more than likely the Black side of her family that's making such comments. People, again, like I said, who always felt a certain type of way about her anyway. But in this moment, at this time in her life, they've become more vocal about it. But I feel like these are family members who always felt a certain type of way about you, and you didn't know, or it wasn't as a parent, or you just chose to kind of overlook it or dismiss some of the comments that would be said. But I'm sure these family members, they've been feeling this way about you, unfortunately, you know, because it's your family, but they were already not feeling you like that, Sydney. My kiddo says, Sydney is looking for validation from social media. Not a good look. That's correct. Yeah. Again, for those of you on here, if you haven't already, please like the video, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. It really be random, y'all. I don't really have a schedule lately. I've kind of been going live around this time in the evening, around the 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish Eastern time. So the way my life is set up, that kind of works out better for me. Again, if you guys have any topics or anything you'd like for me to discuss or go over, please drop them in the comments. I think David Anthony might have been the person who recommended or asked for me to cover this. So I do thank you, David Anthony, if it was you. But yes, drop in the comments. I'll look into it. And if I feel like it's something that's worth discussing and that can kind of create like a good dialogue, you know, I'll go ahead and, you know, bring it to you all. But thank you again for you, for those of you who are here, for joining. My kiddo, you have a great channel. Oh, thank you. Look, I try. Listen, I be working for y'all. I try to do a lot of research and just put some thought into some things, you know, and try to come at it from a different perspective. But I just want people to come together, have a meeting of the minds, and just talk about it. It's not about bashing anybody. It's about seeing things from different points of views. And, you know, just speaking positivity into people, because everybody is going through something, whether we know it or not. Sydney is somebody would easily look at and be like, oh, she's just winning. She has no worries in the world. She's beautiful. She got accolades. She just got engaged. Ladies, have y'all seen him? Please go to her page, check him out. But, people will look at her and think like, sis got it. Like, I wish I can be her. I wish I can have her life. But truth be told, sis do not have it all. And she was vulnerable enough to put that out there to the world. And she felt like this was something that was bigger than her, something that she needed to present to the world, like to show like, yo, like just because I got 1 million followers, just because I'm light skinned, just because I got long hair, just because I got silky hair, that don't mean that I ain't going through things. Because truth be told, I'm going through some stuff. And I'm finna cry to y'all and wipe my tears and tell y'all what I'm going through and tell y'all that I don't appreciate it. And I just want some respect. Sis said she just wants some respect. She said just a little bit. I wouldn't matter. Sis said, I just want a little bit of respect. But again, Sydney, unfortunately, everybody's not going to respect you, because I'm sure there's far more people who do respect you than who don't. But you're choosing to focus on those who don't. And that's where the problem lies. Agree, Chic, say what? That's why I found video so deep and there is a lot going below the surface. I want her to do well in life, but the video reveals so much with our dirty laundry issues as a Black. Yes. Like, listen, we don't know what's going on in people's lives. And I think that it's easy for us to just form assumptions, for us to assume that somebody has it all together, for us to assume that somebody relationship goes. Y'all ever hear that? I don't like that relationship go, because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know. So you should just strive to just be the best version of yourself, to have the most healthy relationship you can have. We shouldn't be striving in life to be like other people. We can be motivated by people, but that's different than trying to be like somebody. I think it's important for us all to identify someone who can inspire us to be the best versions of ourselves. That's how I look at it. It's about getting inspiration from people. Getting inspiration from people. That's it, because all we can do is just be the best version of ourselves. I agree, David. My kiddo says respect on social media, the wrong formats. Listen, anybody who think they finna get respect, when I say, listen, I'm just in the early stages of dealing with this social media stuff. I read comments. People don't always feel with what I say or what I got, but I read it and I keep it moving, because I knew that putting myself out here, it was going to leave me open for people to form opinions of me, which people have already had opinions of me, but it's different when you're on a platform, people's typing comments that other people over the years can come back and see. Like, it's very different. So I feel like anybody who chooses to be in the limelight or chooses to have a platform where they're presenting themselves to the world, they have to have a thick skin. They definitely need to know who they are, because if you do not know who you are, somebody else is going to come along and tell you who you are. And guess what? You're going to believe them, because I always say, if you know who you are, nobody can come along and tell you anything different. Sydney don't know who she is. Period. She doesn't know who she is. And that's a whole problem. But that can change. But she has to seek the help to get to change. She says she talks and she cries to God and do all that. But I believe Sydney needs to take it a step further and seek counseling. Because from what I've seen in that video, she's not in a healthy place, and given that she's only 21 and at the early stages of her career, she got to tackle this early. because we don't want her being like Lizzo, almost 30 years. Well, I think Lizzo is in her 30s, crying. I think she, 31? Listen, is Lizzo really even pregnant? She recently, did a TikTok and she was showing her belly, alluding to being pregnant. So is she just trolling? Is she really pregnant? See, that's that stuff I'm talking about. Like somebody said in the comments, watching 30 days, she gonna be out there crying again because somebody then called her fat and told her she ain't got no man. That's that stuff I be talking about, y'all. Like sometimes we do it to ourselves. Kiddo, relationship goals like Sonya Curry and Dale. I came across a video where Sonya and Dale were doing an interview like about 4 years ago. And the topic was Seth. And I think he I don't know if he had just joined a new team or something. And I'm reading them comments and people like that relationship go. People was just like, oh my God, Dale is so lucky to have Sonya. She's so and I'm just thinking about today and what's playing out. But like I said, that video was 4 years ago. So all those comments, like they were all like from back then. And that's that stuff I talk about where people judge people's situations based on the surface. Because clearly Sonya and Dale have been dealing with things for years, but people didn't know. People didn't know. 33 years, you're going to deal with some stuff. I've been married October 1st to be 17 years. Me and my husband have dealt with some stuff. So you're going to deal with some stuff, but you can't look at people and just judge it on the surface or see, oh, they've been together for this length of time, so everything's all good in the hood. No. You never know what keeps people together. Don't be assuming just because folks together that everything is all good, because you'll be running around here crying in the comments when you reading about Sonya and Dale going left or going to Splitsville and Sonya got a whole new white man. But that's going to be another video. Maybe. Micheal, is she pregnant or just gained weight? I don't know. If you're talking about Lizzo, she rubbed her belly. And she was given like as though like being pregnant. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I think she needs a whole. I done already done a video on her and talked about my thoughts on her. So if y'all haven't seen that video, go check that one out, because I cannot with her. I can't listen. It's too late to be dealing with her. My kiddo says they are going off on each other. It's so sad. Yes, it's very sad. Now, the kids, I've heard today that Steph and Aisha have taken sides and they're siding with Sonya. And it's just sad for the children to take sides. I mean, I guess in a perfect world, it would, if they could be neutral, but basically from what I'm hearing, Aisha and Steph are siding with Sonya, and it's pretty ugly. It's not a good look for the family, but hey, they are a family and families go through things, and they are so happy in a family that has a large platform. So we're just watching the foolery play out. It is what it is. We just got to keep in mind they have family too, and people just don't see our family stuff. But when you're a celebrity, you're going to see their family stuff. So they're no different than us. It's just that they're on a large platform, and it's unfortunately that they chose to put their business out there to everyone, as far as with the infidelities and things like that, because that part didn't have to come out. It could have been strictly, okay, they're divorcing, but they took it a step further and was like, okay, well, let's talk about it. And they got to talking about it. All right. So who knows? I'll continue to watch that one. I may, come back and, you guys can let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on that. But I got a feeling it's going to be pretty ugly, because Dale ain't trying to give Sonya nothing. And Sonya, she looking for that alimony check. But Dale, you have your man over there, that white man that you living with, that you say you're not living with. You have him take care of you. Because from what I'm hearing, that white man got a lot of money. kiddo. Wow. Yeah. People in the Bay Area are in shock. Wow. Hey, I'm from the Bay Area, my kiddo. I bet they are. I bet they are. But I mean, I was surprised when I seen it. But, you know, as a married person, I know people go through things. And I just took it as like, okay, well, I mean, they've been together forever, just about, like they just were two people that kind of grew apart. I wouldn't have thought that a day later I would be hearing about infidelities and Dale saying, oh, Sonia cheated with the white man that went to Virginia Tech with us. Like supposedly he, you know, he's an ex of Sonia's. They used to date. And basically she kind of circled back around to somebody from her past. So that's what I'm hearing in these YouTube streets. Right. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. You know, we just got to hope for the best for the Curry family. You know, they'll get through it. Again, as I always say, you're the story into the next big story. So, you know, it doesn't take long. You know, I always say people got short attention spans, so it don't take long before people move on and something else pops off. And then we forget about Sydney crying, Lizzo crying, you know, the Currys, like, because it's going to be some other foolishness going on within the community, as the angry man call it. So, but again, thank you guys for joining tonight. Please like, share, subscribe, drop your comments, hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. And yep, let me know if there's anything you'd like for me to touch on. But I'm hoping, you know, Sydney, she, you know, I wish her nothing but the best. I'm sure, you know, soon, you know, we'll be hearing more about as far as her wedding plans and all of that. So I just hope that, you know, sis is doing good and she's in a good, you know, mental space, you know, as you should be. You know, she just got engaged. So congratulations to her. And, you know, I hope just people are just surrounding her, showing her love. And she gives the Heisman to those who aren't, as we all should. So thank you all again. And until the next broadcast, peace.